Welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be every Treyarch Aether map, worst to best. I'm not counting this game because it's very different and most of the maps are just tragic. Apart from this one, this is actually pretty good. This is most of my opinion, so shut the fuck up because my opinion is better. But also, I'm going to try to keep it sort of unbiased. Comment what your favourite maps are and maybe hit like because this took ages to make and a like goes a long way when your channel's as small as mine is, so thanks. But yeah, the worst map ever, it's Kino, just kidding, it's Die Rise. Yeah, no shit, it's got stupid elevators, stupid one piece at a time building system, stupid characters, and oh yeah, it's got this.
And
I wish this liquefier was put on a better map, and I wish Marlton died in Nuketown. Next. Coming in at the second worst map is going to be Bus Depot. It's like Nacht, but shit. How can you make Bus Depot slightly less shit? Add perks. Farmage's Bus Depot with 4 perks. If you thought Bus Depot was bad, try Bus Depot but with more space and more bad mechanics. That's right, this is transit. Fuck the bus, fuck Marlton, fuck the fog, fuck the denizens. You'll have heard transit being bashed on a million times before, so instead I'm going to kind of give it credit for being pretty funny when you're playing it on co-op. You know, one guy gets left behind, one guy manages to get the bus, one guy teleports into Nacht, you all fail to make the pack-a-punch, and then one guy dies alone, and then someone has to run back to get the pack-a-punch open. And the last guy is just standing, camping at pack-a-punch with like a B-23R and nothing else. You can spawn in, but honestly it just gets worse and worse from there. It's pretty funny to play on co-op, I'm not gonna lie. It's not frustratingly bad like Die Rise is, but still, like, fuck Marlton. Nacht goes here. The map went for a tower defense kind of thing with the explosive barrels and the barricade and shit, but that aspect didn't really stick. Most people found this addicting right away, and that's a credit to zombies as a whole as opposed to just Nacht. The mystery box is a good key feature, and think about how weird it is that they give you a crappy pistol to start with that takes an entire clip to kill one zombie on round 1. Imagine how different everything would have turned out if the dev who chose to give you the Colt instead gave you an MG or something, but apart from that, like, the fun gameplay kinda ends at about round 10, so you can't put Nacht really high up. Next we have Zombie Verrückt. I think it's a big tragedy that I have to put it this low, because I like it, but deadass the homies are never down to play it, so I see how it is. It's just too hard for most of these niggas. I don't know if I can say that word. But props to adding the perks and the voice acting and the traps and stuff like that. Slightly above Verrückt is another one I actually like quite a lot, and it's Nuketown. People are too shit to play without jugs, so this map gets flack for being original. I like the theming, I like the no barriers, and I like how it's just unique as fuck, while still being basic. This map trained me up well, so yeah. But overall, I think this map was probably made a bit too late for people to appreciate it. Next is Town. Town is interesting because it has all the essentials, but it's like a fucking custom zombies box map. It's cool enough, I guess, and the maps like this are actually playable in public match, because, you know, how are people going to fail to understand this? Alright, okay, this one's going to be a really hot take, so, you know, make sure you apply your butt cream for the amount of hurt this one's going to cause. It's fucking Kino. This is a massive step down from Der Riese, and in the grand scheme of things, I think it's only a bit better than Town. You have shitty weapons with no ammo, shitty boring layout, most of the map is indoors so you can't even find the box to start with. Makes you teleport away from the zombies to Pack-a-Punch like a little bitch who's scared to lose her gun. The Thunder Gun was made for 5 in the first place, and the Pack-a-Punch camo looks like ass. The song is good, and that's pretty much the only good thing I'm gonna say about it. Five is pretty good because you get to play as Jesus fucking Kennedy and communism man, and there's a dumb idiot who takes your guns. This map has a fun difficulty and separates the men from the boys. It's so badass you even have an Eminem song. Oh yeah, and it has a fully animated intro cutscene. Kino didn't even have that.
That there are only a few generations.
Sounds like someone breaking in!
Just a storm, Dick.
It's also kind of creepy, you know, when you go down to the Illuminati labs and there's like Nova crawlers and you forget where you are and the lights kind of freak you out a little bit. Zetsubo no Shima.
I'm sorry! I don't speak Japanese!
It still actually has everything that makes a Black Ops 3 map good, but it's just a bit more annoying and kind of falls short. The quests are a bit too much and there's too many doors, and if you also look at the amount of game-breaking bugs, the amount of thrashers that start spawning in is just too much considering they soak up ammo and give you fuck all when you kill them. It's a shame though, because it's a fun map when you're set up, honestly. Shi no Numa. What an underrated ass map. The random perks were ahead of its time, the Flogger is hilarious, the characters are good, the Wonder Wolf was much needed, and the dog spiced the game up. And it also introduced an open map design, which went a long way and was an idea that definitely stuck. Show this map some love for God's sake. Ascension. This map is just okay. It's a bit easy, but it's better than this, so yeah. I like the song here too. Call of the Dead. You're either a Call of the Dead guy or you're not. I am. George is chilling and he gives you perks. The Easter egg's real good, the scavenger is sick, Deadshot is just... yeah. Okay, this next map I wanted to put as high as I could, but I still wanted to be reasonable. It's Shangri-La. Unlike hard maps like Zetsubo or 5, a lot of the difficulty can be overcome, and there's room for mastery, and it's actually rewarding. The monkeys steal your drops, but you can change it to whatever else you want, and if it's a max ammo, you can get a perk from that. You can use the napalm to destroy an entire train. The wonder weapon is the same. It does no damage itself, but it's theoretically a top tier wonder weapon in the hands of a half decent player. Deadass, if you don't like Shangri-La, it's because you suck ass for breakfast, lunch and dinner. This is like the first map where they went really creative with the Easter egg, and the map is also just drop dead gorgeous. Again, I also love the Easter egg song on this map. Okay, up next we have another map that I love a lot, but I'm gonna try and be a bit realistic. This one's Buried. What a unique map. You spawn in and it's just like a sandbox, just do whatever the fuck you want. You might want to buy the odd door or smash open one and actually get points from it instead. I can't even explain it, the map just lets you play it and everything in it is designed to fit in so well. But that's not to say it's like a box map like Town. There's still the usual stuff like a Pack-a-Punch quest, a power switch, a new perk and a million side quests. They don't feel like quests, but rather features. We could only have one Buried, because this formula is such a one-hit wonder kind of thing, and I'd rather not have another map that tries to do this, except of course Spaceland, which did a very similar thing. And I know I said I'd talk about just Treyarch maps, but I feel passionate about Spaceland, okay? It's a very similar map, but it also incorporates, you know, the classic sort of level progression. It's a theme park, and the gameplay reflects that. I consider this to be an equal to Buried. Props to Lee Ross, he made a big classic with this one. Okay, so from here on out, this is where all the real good maps are. Moon. Moon fills a niche without breaking the Black Ops 1 formula. I think objectively it is good, or at least not bad. The atmosphere is like complete desolation, but in a good way. The wave gun is epic, the zap guns are fun enough. Yeah, the Easter egg's RNG as fuck, but it's not the end of the world. Actually it is, but I mean the Easter egg is easy enough when everything falls into place. And having two halves where the second one needs the other eggs done is really clever. Shit like the hacker device set the foundation for the next games, but that's not to say that the cosmonaut was a bit unfair and the excavators don't get a bit too hard to manage. But for real though, the song went too fucking hard. Like bro, this is too hype. Like, is it even legal? What the hell, you did not need to go this hard. The Reese is amazing, but just because of what it is, you can only put it so high. It added the Pack-a-Punch, but it also added like a wee quest on the map as well, i.e. like linking the teleporters for the Pack-a-Punch. The map layout is easy enough, but also big enough and diverse enough for anyone to do what they want. You want to sit on a catwalk for 10 years with a million bouncing betties? Yeah, go for it. You want to kill people who run past the electric trap? Yeah, go for it. You want to sit on top of this fence? Don't do that. It had the best song in the entire Zombies discography, and I'm not talking about Beauty of Annihilation, I'm talking about this.
I'm on the Reese! I'm on the Reese! Everybody look at me, cause I'm pissing on a zombie. I'm on the Reese! I'm on the Reese!
Most people think Revelations fell short, but looking at it as a map instead of the ending to Black Ops 3, it was pretty damn good. Who cares if we went for nostalgia? The map had a brilliant flow, and the Pack-a-Punch quest felt familiar but fresh enough. It's an easy but fun time with a good amount of side quests. The map's big enough, but you can get around easy. The gameplay, while hitting all the modern standards, is still simple and kinda mimics Black Ops 1 in a way. Right, from here on out it's all the maps you'd expect, but they're more or less the same. If I had to give them an order, it would be this. Why not play Shadows of Evil? You got the 1930s with the jazz music and all that, you got Squidward, you got cool swords, you got hentai, you got an alien gun, you got a cool new perk, you got a revamp of the afterlife system, you got hentai, you got a cool story that progresses as you play and do the Easter egg. It literally has a plot twist in the middle of it. Easter egg, which might I add, fucking makes sense. Pack-a-punching doesn't take as long as some people make it out to be. First try shouldn't take more than round 12, and even if you never work out how to do it earlier than round 12, you can't die before round 12 and blame it on not having Pack-a-Punch. You're just shit at that point. The map is a cool blend of Mob of the Dead and Origins, and it was unfairly shat on when it first came out. I'll admit that the map's maybe not for everyone. It's kinda like the wine of zombies. You're not gonna get the map when you're new to zombies. You need to be experienced to just understand the snobbish intricacies of the map and just appreciate it. But I'm telling you, this map is Treyarch's crown jewel. Up next we have Gorod Krovi. Gorod Krovi goes back to World War II, but with dragons and robots and cool guns in the mystery box, and it feels like a very, very modern Doris. A lot of people say it's like Mob of the Dead because of the dragon that flies across the entire world and just the general tight layout. And yeah, that's facts, it kind of is. It does nothing wrong and the map just has like a lot of charm to it. It's also pretty funny because you have drunk Nikolai in a mech suit yelling at you while you play the map. That's it, you all knew these three would be at the top, let's be fucking real. So here's another hot take. Origins. I love the 4 wonder weapons, but the Reisendrak just does it better. I can appreciate the Easter egg and the million things to do, but honestly, the metric shit ton of side quests is nice. Personally really like having a lot of side quests, but this map does make me realise that it won't make up for atmosphere or flow. Origins does flow quite poorly, and I think that's why I'm putting it below the other two. You're strangled in these trenches for door money, and you have to loop around weirdly so you get both generators 2 and 3, and by the time that you get to the excavation site, it's like, yeah, cool, do what the fuck you want. But the middle area costs a stupid amount, and the church just doesn't have enough dig spots, so even if you get there early on a snow round, you can still take an L sometimes. All the staffs have a step in the upgrade process that involves a stupid code that is impossible to memorize, so you just end up having to look it up mid-game. That's the few things that I don't like about the map, but honestly, it's still so flipping good. I just think there's a couple of things that put it below the other two, personally. So the second best map I'm going to say is Der Reisendrak. What a map. The Wrath of the Ancients is rewarding enough and can be obtained by like round 6 by most filthy casuals. The Panzer takes his sweet time and comes by round 12, so you have plenty of time to upgrade one of the 4 uniquely characterized bows. They're not elements like in Origins, get that shit out of here. They all function really differently and that's cool. And although the upgrade quests are kind of obscure, they're also enjoyable and they all have a little story and they all use some really cool visual effects. Speaking of visuals, the map itself is just really beautiful and the layout interconnects really well. The rocket test is a cool little place to have as well. Pack-a-Punch isn't the main focus, which is cool. The Easter egg is amazing and it's a perfect difficulty, I'd say. Another thing I noticed from introducing my pals who've only played World at War to this map is that it can literally be played like a World at War map if you want. Flip the power switch, hold F on 2 of the things and boom, Pack-a-Punch. Nothing is shoved down your throat, so you can actually learn Black Ops 3 through this map. Mob of the Dead is the best map. It's a bit difficult, sure, but the flow of the map is unmatched and the setting and atmosphere and story and characters are all on point. It's like a movie for God's sake. The map is completely in its own lane and approaches all the main modern zombies elements in its own way. It's so badass. The wonder weapon gives you the choice of the sweeper and the vitrolic withering, and the perk on the map, Electric Cherry, complemented the weapons so well. You had an automatic tomahawk, you had a fucking spork, you fly away from Alcatraz on a makeshift plane and crash into the Golden Gate Bridge and kill yourself. Dying is like an integral mechanic and is literally canon. The way you make Icarus 2, all the small afterlife challenges to get the plane parts, they're all really well made. And you can just do the pieces in whatever order you want because the flow in the map is so well done. This description I'm giving probably makes no sense to someone who doesn't know the map, but I kid you not, it's a fucking masterpiece and I'll never forgive Treyarch for ruining it in Blood of the Dead.